Hi, this is Firestarter, and this is my review of the SIC Kiwami Tamashii Side Basshar from Kamen Rider Kaixa. Actually, this is Kaisa's bike, just like S.I.C's Auto Vajin. And we have here a clear box with Side Basshar at the bottom. It says here Tamashii Nations, Bandai, and Kiwami Tamashii on top. And some panels here that is similar to Kaisa's shot right here, and at the back some of the things that you want to do with the Side Basshar. It also says that the figures such as Kiwami Tamashii Kaixa can fit on the bike, but as you can see here, it feels like that on the sidecar, just like my RHF Side Basshar. There's no way you can fit in the figure inside, but you can use your imagination, as I always try to remind you guys. If you wanna place Kaixa and S.I.C on one bike, it's possible, just like what it says here. So enough about the box. Let's open and then let's analyze Side Basshar. So this is the bike, and we have here the sidecar and the bike itself fused together when you take it out of the box. So underneath it, we have a lot of details, like some of the tubes and some of the mufflers that goes in and out of the whole make. So you got a lot of details, just like it's more than what my RHF Side Basshar looks like. So it says here also the serial number from China. The wheels do turn just from the front and the back, but it's not as great as having them on all fours. And the sidecar also has some wheels, but it's only for the back end. This is only the back end of the sidecar, which means if you try to roll both together, it stops in a certain way, and the front end of the sidecar does scratch on most of the surface, and making the whole bike stop in this way. Now we have here the seat pad for the sidecar. We have the glass visors. It's all in plastic. And there are also handlebars that I think I haven't noticed on my RHF sidecar. So it's really soft plastic. Even some of the parts are also in soft plastic, which comes into mind that it's really scary, because this is going to be one flimsy bike, because most of the parts are in soft plastic. Even the joints that are connecting most of the joints for in the transformation, and I can see here, is really in a thin plastic. So be careful when you transform this sidecar into one huge mecha. And one thing I noticed about Side Basshar on the SIC Kiwami Tamashii line is that if you try to rub on the mufflers, you can feel that there's some oil that was placed inside to lubricate most of the joints. This is scary, because over time, you know that once you take it out of the box and it is exposed to air, the oil of course evaporates, and then most of the parts here that you can see between the joints are also painted. It means that exposed to really heat conditions, you can ruin the paint apps, and then most of the joints would be fused together because the paint will be melted inside. Although I can see here, this is one really big bike for the SIC Kiwami Tamashii line, and it's really absolutely detailed. I'm just afraid that in my condition, placing this or posing this, once the paint apps melt, it will stick to most of the joints, hindering most of the transformation. That's the only problem I see about Side Basshar. Does your Kiwami Tamashii Kaixa fit on the bike? Yes, he does. and with just a little bit of adjustments. As you can see here, I'm using his holding hands to latch on the handlebars. The handlebars are also in soft plastic, just to let you know, so it's fine. So that's all about the details about Kamen Rider Kaisa's bike, and let's do the transformation. And now we have the complete transformation of the Side Basshar. And some of the swivel points would be the arms because of the transformation. We have a joint here on the arms, and the claws also move. And we have slightly movable legs too because of the transformation and how the swivel points move. The pegs are really flimsy, so without proper positioning, it would fall off on its own. Let's just put Kaisa on top just to complete the whole look. Thing is, too much oil will destroy the figure, especially if you have a lot of details and a lot of plastics and paint apps made on the bike. Especially if you, sorry Kaisa, if you take a look on these, they are also painted and they are not the same. You can see some of the bronze here and some of here are not. It's because of the oil. This is the first SIC Kiwami Tamashii Side that I would say that it was done carelessly. Take note of the discoloration on the wheels and some of the joints and the paint apps that went into it. So if you want to know the poseabilities for this figure, do check out the photos at the end of the video, and do subscribe to my blogspot for the full written review. This is Firestarter. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on my next review.